Welcome back to the Nature Show. Today we are visiting the Antarctic jungle to observe the monkey animal in its natural habitat. Oh my, I do believe I see one now. Yes, quite. What a gorgeous specimen. Just look at those eyes. Truly, this creature has observed some shit in its time. Oh dear, I do believe it spotted us. When the monkey feels threatened, it will often take its favorite food, the apple, and proceed to throw it in hopes of not dying. I must say, I've never witnessed such majesty in my entire career as a nature man. In fact, the most peculiar part... Fuck. It's 2016, and you know what that means. Pokemon is officially 20 years old. I've been a diehard fan of the series for literally my entire life, and it's really incredible to see just how far Pokemon has come. I mean, 20 years ago, you couldn't walk 2 steps outside of your house without a Pikachu being shoved in your face. At least nowadays, actually, not a whole lot has changed. And now with Pokemon Sun and Moon on the way, well, let's just say it doesn't look like it's slowing down anytime soon. But there is one game out there that most Pokemon fans have never even heard of, let alone played. I am of course talking about Pokemon on the SNES. Now obviously this game wasn't actually made by Nintendo, but rather some mysterious company known as DVS Electronics. The DVS of course standing for, the fuck is this shit? Strangely enough, it's thought that this game came out around 2000, only like a year before the GameCube's release. So I believe this begs the question, why bother making a bootleg game for an already obsolete console? Seriously, who are they marketing this towards? Who in their right mind would want this? Well, I guess me, because I kind of bought one. So, in honor of Pokemon's 20th anniversary, I present to you Pokemon on Super Nintendo. Dear God, we're actually doing this. Wow, the official Nintendo seal of quality, huh? So, starting it up, we see Pikachu along with the Japanese name for Pokemon, Pocket Monster. Even though the label clearly says Pokemon. DVS, more like DVS if you know what I mean. Yeah. Okay, so we start the game and, yeah? Okay. Well, the first thing you'd probably notice is the, music. At least I want to call it music, but at the same time, I also want to, tear my ears off. Apparently, the entire soundtrack is ripped from another Super Nintendo game, Bonkers. Yeah, you know, because when I think of Bonkers, the first thing that comes to my mind is, which Pokemon is that again? Well, from, DuckTales, Woo Woo. Also, if you could rip the music from any Super Nintendo game, please tell me why the fuck would you choose this one? I mean, there are plenty of games on the Super Nintendo with amazing soundtracks you could have taken from. Why was Bonkers the goddamn Bobcat the first thing that came to your mind? Don't get me wrong, not all the music in the game is this ear-splittingly horrifying. But holy crap, this one song, it sounds like the Looney Tunes theme, except played upside down? Like, I'm not even sure if that's possible, but my god, they sure tried their best. Also, you'll notice that there aren't a whole lot of actual Pokemon in this game. I mean, sure, you have some of the originals like Snorlax, Porygon, and Diglett, but there's also this monkey who I think is trying to throw apples, but it doesn't look like that's working out too well. And then there's this thing, which I mean, it's kind of, you know, it's got the, it's an alien sperm. It's alien sperm. There is no way you can tell me that is not what that is. At the beginning of each level, Ash will come on the screen to give you some words of advice. It's hot. I mean, thanks, man, you know. tried to make it look hot for you. Try to make it look good for the ladies, you know? Gotta give myself some of that. Jump around? I mean, yeah, that's kind of the only thing you do in this game. Underground. I actually think this is more of a frozen Hindu temple, but I mean, I guess it could technically be underground, so, you know, thanks for having my back, buddy. Couldn't have done it without you. Anyways, once you've finally accepted that you're actually going to play this game, you'll find that it's a platformer. A really, really bad platformer. Now, the Super Nintendo has a lot of games in that genre, but I am not joking when I say this is by far the worst one that I've ever played. For example, what's the one thing that every single platformer ever has? Jumping! I mean, without jumping, there would be no way to get from platform to platform. It's probably one of the simplest concepts in all of gaming too. You press a button, the character goes up and down, and everyone's happy. But in Pocket Monster, every time Pikachu jumps, the game will lag until you hit the ground again, making every jump just feel gross. And Ash wasn't lying, by the way. You are going to be jumping around a lot. Like, I think half of my total playtime was just spent moving slowly in midair. Seriously, how could they mess up the most crucial part of the game mechanics? Not only that, but the platforms themselves are broken. Like, if you're not pixel perfect, you're going to fall right through. Now, I'm not going to pretend this is the only game that does this, but I mean, come on. Doesn't this just hurt to watch? I actually spent around 10 minutes on this one part alone just because the platforming is so bad. Also, there are no checkpoints until you get to the boss of each level. So after finally reaching the end of this obnoxious area, I ended up dying and having to do it all over again. And these levels can get crazy long. Now, I'm all for a good challenge, but when the level is this long, chances are you're going to mess up at some point. The game itself isn't even that hard. The challenge comes from trying to get past the terrible game design. Like how you'll have to take countless leaps of faith in every level since you can't see a bunch of the platforms that are below you. There are way too many of these here. I only managed to beat this one level because I accidentally fell onto a platform that there was no way of knowing was there. And I know what you're thinking. Maybe if you press the down button, the camera will move down. Well, congratulations, good sir, you're right. Sort of. Naturally, I tried moving the camera down, but when I did, yeah, it crashed. You can even see the camera move down slightly before the screen turns into an inescapable, all-consuming black void. The only way to keep going at that point is to reset your system entirely. And I did try it more than once to see if it was just a one-time bug, but no. If for whatever reason you hit the down button, it's game over. Then I got to thinking, maybe it's just my cartridge that's messed up. And yeah, it is. I tried it on an emulator and the down button worked just fine. The monkey still doesn't know how to throw apples though. Nintendo seal of quality my ass! But no, if I'm doing this, then I'm doing it on my turf. Glitches be damned. And yeah, there are way more glitches than that. Like for half of one of the boss fights, the guy I'm fighting is just invisible. Somehow I did manage to figure out a pattern, but most of the time I didn't even realize I was hitting him. Also, platforms and enemies will sometimes spawn where they're not supposed to. Like right here. There's clearly no enemies here the first time you go up. But if you manage to fall down and go back up, boom, enemy. But don't worry, this can also happen to platforms. Yay! Alright, here we go. Wait, what? I know there was something there before. Whatever. No, see, there was supposed to be a platform there. And I didn't even do anything different either. It just didn't show up. DVS, more like go eat shit and die. So eventually, I got up to the boss of the 4th level, Gengar. Up to this point, the bosses would go down after a few electric attacks, which most of the time I forget I have, by the way. And then you just hit them a couple times to win. But with Gengar, I couldn't figure out how to actually do damage, and I just ended up wasting all of my electric moves. In fact, I spent most of my continues just trying to figure out its strategy. But after countless tries, I think I've finally started to understand the pattern. Alright, I'm on my last continue and I'm almost out of lives. But I'm pretty sure Gengar is close to going down. Just a few more hits and I'll... I hit down on accident. Well, shit.
Everyone's counting on me to get to the final level and beat the game once and for all. I have to do this. For Pikachu. For Nintendo. For the world!
Actually, this game sucks, and I hate it. But there is one thing I like. Rap! Hey kids, it's time for the Poke Rap. We got a bunch of new Pokemon this time around, so just try to keep up. Yo,
I'm gonna be the best there ever was. Gonna beat all the rest. Oh, just because! Pikachu, Prime, Apple Bladderpea, Gamera, Space Seed, Snorlax, Crabulus, Beedrill, Triodon, Bluebat, Gengar, Nutterfly, Wigglyfluff, Turniphead, UFO, please kill! Oh man, those sick beats were pretty amazing. But not as amazing as you'd be if you liked this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel so you know the moment a new video comes out. Also be sure to follow me on Twitter and like my Facebook page that I update with all sorts of cool stuff. But for now, gotta catch 'em all, pocket monster shit.